So, hi there, my name is Martin Hoxie. Hopefully you're all tuned in nicely to check out this broadcast. What I want to do today is just quickly go through how you set up my Twitter archiving Google spreadsheet tags version 5. It's slightly different from the previous version because this time around you actually need to set up authenticated access, so it's a bit harder. So here we have my blog post, which has a link to the spreadsheet. So we're just going to click on that link, and that's going to make ask everyone a new copy of the template. So we click yes on there, and pray that the Google gods are with us, and they appear to be. So once you're in here, we need to enable a menu, and what you'll find is quite often we get this can't find on open. What's happening is in the background Google is copying across all the scripts and things that it needs to run, so we just need, there we go, so it's worked now. So there's quite a scary box that comes up. What's happening is there's a bit of script behind this spreadsheet that needs to do certain things, so it needs to write to the script to the spreadsheet. It needs to write some script properties, and it's also going to do these actions when you're not using the spreadsheet, which is quite handy because that means it could be archiving stuff when we're not there. So we just click on OK for that, and then close the next window. And we need to click on this just one more time to enable menus, so we've got some custom menus up here. The next step is to get the Twitter API authentication. So this brings up a dialog window with some instructions, so we need to go to this URL, which I'm just copying, and I'm putting in a new browser window. I've already logged in. If you haven't logged in before, you do it in the top right, so you need to give it a name, so I'm going to call this TAGS5 demo, and just now you can see my bad typing. Website, you can put anything in. It does need something. And then the important bit is actually this callback URL. So you'll see in the instructions there's a URL in here that we need to copy, so I'm just pasting that in. And there's rules of the road, so you should have a quick look at those, make sure that you agree with all those. I think it's points for, there's a bit of a gray area in terms of we're using a spreadsheet to keep a copy of this information, but at the same time it's on the cloud. So my understanding, having spoken to the people at Twitter, they're okay with this solution, but they don't want you sharing entire archives as Excel links for CSVs. But they are happy if you reuse the data following their branding rules. So yes, I agree. And then we've got a captcha. So hopefully that was all okay. Typing. And so we now get the details page. So the bits that we need are these keys and secrets, which I'll be deleting straight after this broadcast. So we need to copy those in to our application and click on save. The next bit we need to do is we actually need to authorize the access with Twitter, and there's a function in here called Authenticate. authenticate Twitter, and then it's asking you to authorize. So I'm already logged in, and you only need to do this once. Once it's done, that's it. So we can actually close that window. So now you need your search. So I'm going to do very basic CETUS, and I can run it now. And so it's going off and collecting stuff. Which will take a couple of seconds. So you see here it's actually pulled the data in. We've got a couple of tabs here so we can see a summary of the number of tweets, who's been tweeting, when they've been tweeting. So this is basically a spark line. Spikes further to the right means recent. So this person's been tweeting recently, but not in the past. And there's other views as well that you can use. One other thing we can do is there's a couple of experimental web views I've dropped into that. Just need to publish to the web. And so when I click on this, we get should do a very busy conversation graph. So that probably wasn't the best example, but you can see what's happening now. Just to go back here, something else you can do is just get this archive to start collecting every hour, and you can stop that again from the same menu. So what this will do is every hour it'll go off and pull in additional data into the archive sheet. Some limitations to know about the Twitter API is it's limited to the last 1,500 tweets, and currently from the last 7 days. So anything outside 7 days or outside 1,500 tweets isn't available. But what you can do is, if, for example, you're at a conference and you're collecting the data there and you're expecting more than 1,500 tweets in a day, because it's collecting every hour, you're going to get that. So we'll just keep adding to the archive. One last thing to mention is the search, and you can use search operators in there. So I can CETUS and something else, CETUS and JISC, for example. The other thing that you can do is, I'm just going to clear this out for now, just so you can see what happens. Is you can actually search for URLs. So I'm going to search for, this is my website domain, and if I run that now, it's misbehaving for me. So this is actually detecting the URLs, even though Twitter's wrapping everything in its own shortening service, tct.co. It's actually able to unwrap those and identify. So it's a nice way of just tracking people referring to your website. And that's it. So unless there are any questions, I